Hey y'all, Joe Dragon here. I recently decided to try out the Repopulation, which is a upcoming sandbox sci-fi MMO similar to Star Wars Galaxies. Now, as a former Star Wars Galaxies player, I've been watching this game for quite some time. The game is currently in alpha and available through Steam Early Access for $19 and $40, so there's two packages available. If you decide to pick it up and try it for yourself, just keep in mind that it's still pretty buggy and really has a long way to go before it's ready for release. Anyways, on to the game itself. Initially, when I got into character creation, I wasn't that impressed with the character models. You have two factions you can join, typically the original colonists and basically a rebel group. So pretty much a standard MMO two-faction system. The customization is actually pretty in-depth though for this stage, and I can only imagine it's going to get better. There are sliders for pretty much everything, and if character customization is your thing, you could spend a lot of time in here. As soon as I loaded into the game, I was a little off-put. I couldn't move or anything, and the scene just kept changing from a couple of people that were talking, and all you could see was voice bubbles above their head. Would have been better if you had the chat box open so you could at least read that. I'm assuming they're going to add voice acting, but right now there currently isn't any. So it was kind of weird. The text is hard to read, so I hope they come up with a better font. And it does take quite a while before you can actually do anything. It's a little annoying. You just keep bouncing around to these different people without any indication of what's going on. Then you finally get a little bit of a pop-up, and there is a lot to read. If you're the type of person to just skip through the quest text and look at the objectives, you're gonna be lost in this game. There's so much information, and they throw a lot of it at you right from the start. It's a little off-putting at first, but you tend to eventually get the hang of it. When you do finally get control of your character, you find out that you're in a big training center or a cloning center. You start off basically with just dialogue quests. You're given a quest to explore the facility, and you can learn different skills. Though if you want, you can skip it and go straight to the main world. The first place I went was a combat area where you're given a basic weapon, and they teach you a little bit about equipping weapons and also adding fittings to those weapons. You're also given some skill cards which you can learn 2 skills from. Unfortunately, I ran into a bug at this point, and essentially I wasn't able to attack or anything. After about 10-15 minutes of this, I ended up just dropping the quest and picking it up again, and everything worked fine after that. After that, I went to the advanced training area, where I picked up rifles and grenades. I was given a few chips to buy skill cards, so I couldn't pick up everything here to try out. So I could only max out at 3, and I ended up picking up a revive ability as well from the medical area. You can also learn some melee abilities, but apparently melee is currently underpowered right now. Next, I went to an outside area which has a bit of an event going on. There appear to be rankings based on your contribution to the event, and I didn't get a reward, so I'm assuming I didn't contribute that much, so I'm not sure quite how that works yet. The combat's a little clunky. With a rifle, you have to kneel or prone in order to fire off your abilities, and there are 2 separate keys for going prone and for standing back up, which is a little annoying. I'm hoping I can change that later. Also in this area, you're given a little bit of a gathering quest to show you how that works. Essentially, you go to a gatherable resource, and you start a process where you can improve the grade of the gathered item. Initially, you can't really improve it, but eventually, as your skill increases, so can the final product. Next, I went to the crafting area, which is really the best part of this game, I think. The crafting works like gathering. You can improve the quality of the finished product based on your skill and the quality of the ingredients that you're using. During the refinement of gathered resources, you can actually add attributes based off of what agents you add to the mix. So instead of a boring system where you just input iron ore and get out an iron bar, you can actually end up with a iron bar that has attributes for armor smithing, or an iron bar that has attributes for weaponsmithing. So even the most basic of ingredients can have a lot of variety. The next step really shows you how much it goes into crafting. There are so many different subcomponents you're going to need in order to make a final crafted item. And the quest reminds you several times that you probably want to focus on just one thing and either sell the materials to others or buy the materials and just specialize in one aspect of crafting. This is really the sort of thing I look for in a game, and I can tell this is going to be really great. In my opinion, the system is really even more complex than Star Wars Galaxies was. Finally, I went to the Clone Cafe, where you can learn entertainment abilities which actually give you buffs. I had no idea this was in the game, so I was really surprised. Instead of the ability to play music, you have a storytelling ability, which you can add different plot points, and it looks like you can play off of other players as well. So that's something I really want to explore later. You can also learn to dance, just like in Star Wars Galaxies, and you have different flourish abilities, which is also similar. One thing I really missed was the ability to go into a cantina somewhere and just hang out with the entertainers. That was something unique to Star Wars Galaxies until now, and I'm really happy that a game is recreating that. Even though I had a little bit of a rough start at the beginning, after seeing everything that the game has to offer, I really can't wait to get in and just explore and discover the rest of this game. Anyways, that is it for this video. I hope I was able to properly explain it and you enjoyed. I will absolutely be playing more of this, so until the next video, I'll see you later.